I've worked at startups and in sales my whole career, even though it was not the obvious choice for me early on. I remember walking into my first job thinking, oh my God, they do cold calling. I didn't like it at first, but here I am 10 years later, leading the sales development organization at my company, and I love it. It is so crucial to get it right because it fuels the whole revenue engine in a startup organization. I love the impact I can have on people, especially the women on my team. To me, there is no greater feeling than shaping the next generation of female sales professionals and leaders, even with bumps in the road to get there.
My upbringing had a major impact on where I am today. It first starts with who I admired even as a young age, and that was my dad. He was always in the business world, either selling or running operations, and I always looked up to him. There was definitely a level of high expectation and discipline, but I also recognized, even at a young age, that if I made a mistake, it was always from like a learning posture. The question my parents would always ask is, did you do your best? I've taken that kind of spirit into my career, and it's given me courage to continue to always be pushing and always reaching for the next thing. As a young college student, I remember feeling like the world was my oyster, and I wasn't sure quite yet which direction I wanted to go. So I never really set out to say, I want to be in sales and it's the only thing that I want to do. And I had a conversation with a neighbor of mine who actually recommended an organization that does outsourced sales development. And she said, they do cold calling, and I think you'd be really good at it. I went for my first interview and got the job on the spot. It was really at the bottom of the totem pole. It was a data role where my job was to validate company information and make sure when cold callers went out to prospect, they had the right data. And the first week, I didn't like it, but I kept going in and doing my best, and I ended up staying at that company for 8 years. When I think about everything I did there, I really have this feeling that I grew up in sales. By the time 8 years had passed, I had held every role in the company, offering the service of sales, selling the solution itself. I was training folks how to do cold calling and get a foot in the door. And so that was really how I got invigorated by the entire sales process. As Director of Sales Development here, I oversee our sales development function, leading the programs and campaigns that at the end of the day are getting us in conversation direct with potential customers. And that's also managing and developing the team that does the work itself.
Not camera too. Just depending on where the sun is during the day.
All right, let me pull this up and we'll be...
Being in a startup or a company that's like exponentially growing, days can be vastly different, but one thing I love about working on a sales leadership team are just the strong leaders that I get to work alongside. We're always starting our week with a meeting to all get on the same page, take a look back at the week prior and see where we're standing with number of meetings and closed deals and just how we're progressing, but also looking forward and planning out the week. So there's a lot of intentionality in my day in terms of what I'm looking to achieve and how I'm going to get there. Motivation and kind of keeping the team laser focused on goals is another huge part of my everyday.
That on CES run, really awesome to see. It is not easy to get that many reasons that many meetings to run, and we did it, especially with you
It's
guys.
not as easy as I remember thinking early on.
He tells stories
Especially working in a role that every day can feel like a grind and can feel like you're getting a lot of no's and kind of have to keep pushing through that. What I've learned is that doing a healthy round of contests or spiffs throughout the week and the month are hugely helpful. But way, way beyond that, for sales development reps, most of them have a career goal in mind in terms of where they want to go next. It's developing that really makes the biggest difference on keeping people centered, focused on the goals.
First of all, any lingering questions?
I spend a lot of time being very, very clear about what their career progression here can look like, and individual conversations along the way to say, I know I'm pushing you on fighting this objection, but I'm doing it because I want to help you get here. And that's what really helps to keep the spirit and keep momentum going. I have noticed that there are definitely fewer women in sales, especially as you climb up. I see it a lot. When I go into my sales management meetings, I'm the only female. I see it in terms of who we sell to. I think that a lot of women are concerned about their performance in a role like this. When you look at sales being a role where 100% every single day you are putting yourself on the line over and over and over, there's just some women who say, I don't know if I want to do that. But the push or the challenge that I would give is, if you have this much inkling or push to go into sales, try it. It is a profession that is very empowering. It's one that touches on multiple skills that women have, and it's one where you can make quite a bit of money. It took me a long time to do it. I had this kind of gut instinct that I would like it and be good at it, but it took me like 8 years to do it. Try it. Especially in sales development. Sales development is a beautiful place to start. But try it and you'll be surprised at what you can do.